are there opportunities like, I'm sure they have, but just shed more light on opportunities after study? Like, are you mandated to go back immediately?
No, you are not, but you are not. So after study, there's something that we call postgraduate work permit. After study, there's something that we call postgraduate work permit, which is the optional practical training. So for non-STEM, like ourselves, is 1 year. For people that are STEM students, is 3 years. So you apply for it, then you keep renewing up to 3 years. Now it is optional. I've had friends that came to the US and they went back, like they didn't even apply for OPT. They went back and they had something waiting for them in Nigeria. But for other people, if you are non-STEM and you want to wait back in the US, if you are looking for a job, you can look for a job that will sponsor your visa after the OPT. So there's something after the OPT. The OPT is just work permit. It's not a work visa. So when you look for a job, you can look for a job that, okay, after my 1 year of OPT, are you going to sponsor my work visa? That is a conversation you can have with your job. So that's something that's a way to stay back, have a conversation with your job. Or some people after their OPT, they go back to school. For instance, undergraduate student, they do OPT 1 year, they go back to school for masters. So that's also like navigating. But people have like different ways they kind of like navigate through the process. But yes, you can stay back. But at the same time, I do tell people, if you are staying back, just make sure, I know it's not easy, just make sure that you're not staying back illegally. Because if you are staying back,
very, very much important.
You will not get a reputable job. You will not be able to leave the country. You will not get like a reputable. The only type of job you can get is like a job that they are not paying into your bank account. So as much as possible, it is easy for you to. I had a friend that just went back recently. She said, okay, she will come back because she didn't get a job. That's something about OPT. Even with OPT, if you apply for the OPT and you got it, if you don't get a job, after 90 days, after your program completion, if you don't get a job, the legal thing is to leave the US. So she waited 90 days, she didn't get a job. She went back home and she's like, she will come back for a graduate program because that's a good thing to do. Because if you go back, it's easy for you to come back. But once you overstay, that's just the end of it for you.
It's not a good one.
Yeah, so that's something I say. And the US visa is a very strong visa that if you have a US visa on your passport, the chances that you get rejected from other countries are slim because the US visa is a strong visa. So that's the way it is. As much as, I want to stay back, just make sure that whatever you are doing is legally. So.
Okay, so just to be sure, you say like when you're done with your studies, you have 1 year of OPT, then the postgraduate something is 3 years, which is like the work visa.
Yeah, So as a non-STEM, the OPT is for 1 year. If you're a STEM student, you can extend the OPT for 3 years.
You can extend your OPT for 3 years as a STEM student.
As a STEM student, yes.
That's interesting.
1 year automatically. There's no two way about it. 1 year.
So after that 3 years, then you have to go.
So even some people, after the 1 year, they're already discussing work visa.
Work visa.
Employee. And there are so many ways for you to stay back in the US. There's something that they call national interest waiver. Some people I have somebody that is currently on 1 year of OPT, but the person is already applying for national interest waiver. That one gives you green card automatically. So once you have green card, you are kind of already out of the pool of students
for visa and all of that. Yeah, that's very much. I think maybe later on, if it's necessary, we might talk about that. Yeah. So I would come back to the visa aspects. Maybe you just give like a brief talk. But before then, I'm sure that in the US you're allowed to bring your dependents, right? Like what are the conditions attached and are they allowed to also work?
Yeah, so that's where it gets tricky. So when you bring a dependent, your dependent is not supposed to work. Yeah. So that's why they are depending on you. They are not supposed to work at all. And that's why I said friendly and also not friendly. So if you are bringing your dependents, just have it at the back of your mind that they are depending on you. They are not expected to work. Unlike other countries where your dependents can work and support you, they are not expected to work at all. They are coming to depend on you. Whether it's a spouse, they are not expected to work. But can you bring a dependent? Yes, you can bring a dependent. What are the ways to bring a dependent? It's just the same way. You can either, when you're applying for visa, you can either apply with your dependents. You apply for F1, they apply for F2. They will grant you visa if they see that you have enough money in your account to cover your dependents. Or you can go first and they can join you later. I've had people that came first and their spouse, their children joined them later. And I've had people that they did like with their spouse and everything, but something I say is once they are here, they don't have any work permits there. The only thing is a dependent visa, so they cannot work. However, some people do some, like maybe business of like, oh, I'm selling this, I'm selling that within like, okay, maybe your community people where they are able to, send money to your husband's account or maybe your Nigerian account or anything, but the normal way is that you are not expected to work. Also, something else with the student visa is, aside from the money you are earning as a student in your school, you are not even permitted to do passive income thing. So like you're not permitted
like all this online business.
No, the money, it must not reflect on your social security. If you get what I'm saying. So the only thing that should reflect on your social security is
it 20 hours.
20 hours. So if you want to work, if possible, you can direct it. You can work because it's online. Like it's not a sin. It's not like it's illegal, but you can direct it to your account at home instead of
using one attached to your US bank,
your social security and your So that's the way it is.
That's quite interesting. Wow. So you guys, you just have to weigh your option. We have pros, we have cons. As God is leading you, also like be calculative and just be sure if you really want to like step into this and all of that. Okay, so thank you very much, Ola, and just briefly talk about the visa application from like Nigeria. I've heard a lot that before you get visa date or US visa this or US visa that. Also, how was it for you and what do you have to say about that?
So the visa application, I know like there's been like issues with like data and all. So for me, like I got the admission for that COVID year, but I couldn't travel because of COVID, of course. So that's when everything went awry. Before there used to be visa date, but with the COVID, so people that were waiting, for instance, people like me that were waiting and a whole year because the embassy was on shutdown from like March until November, I think, or October. There was no anything. So that kind of like kept like a lag behind. So that's why people are really struggling with visa dates right now. And I don't know how long that is going to be because every year there's always a lag of people waiting.
Backlog.
Somebody deferred admission now. Next year, of course, they will also want to apply. So that's why right now looking for visa dates is a big thing. But something I do advise people is start as soon as possible. As soon as you've seen that you've gotten admission in a school, except if you are waiting for scholarship. That's the only reason, or maybe you are waiting, or maybe you don't really like the school. It's just like a side school that you apply to. But if you know this is the school you really want to go to, there's no essence in like waiting because you also need to think about the visa. Start applying for your I-20. Start looking for visa data now because that is a stress on its own. So that's something I'm just going to say. And I think something that helped me because even after I deferred the admission, the following year, I was still looking for dates. Something that helps is also like kind of like talking to people that are like minds, telling them, okay, this is what is happening. I had a friend then, even though I was not in a group, but a lot of people now have taken like the initiative to like start group where they are doing like rotation of watching the dates. Yeah, so that's what people do now. But like during my own time, like I had like 4 friends around me that I told, okay, you're looking for this. If I hear anything, I will let you know. If you hear anything, I will let you know. And eventually it was even one of them that I told that called me that day. And she was like, hey, I've been calling you. Oh, there's this. Funny thing, we went to the visa to get, honestly, I've not seen the lady up until now. We had the same visa dates. We talk regularly, but we've not just had the opportunity to see because she's in the because she's in a different state, but we talk, we've even done like movie night and all together.
Wow, so that's sweet.
So I'm going to say when it comes to looking for visa dates, you can talk to other people that are looking for visa dates. It's not about being selfish. It's just about sharing information.
Looking out for each other, one another. Yeah.
So that's something that helped me during my time. And she was the one that found it first. And she told me, I'm like, hey, go and check. And I checked and that's how I got my dates. So
that's so good. And it's even not just about visa, it's about life generally. We need people. We very much need
Like
people.
you can't just be watching out for yourself alone. Like the Bible says, we are our brother and our sister's keeper. So
Keeper.
that's why it's still life. Because you don't know one good deed that you are doing for others. You don't know
Exactly.
replenishing it for you.
Exactly.
So, although there are some people that you do good, like there are so many people that I've done like so many things for, and I'm like, sometimes I'm like, okay, why did I do this for this person? Because of the way they react back. But I'm just like, I did my own. I've done it for
Not
God.
necessary for what you want to get back.
Yeah, I'm not doing it for what I want. But as human as I am, it's kind of like difficult for you to switch up that aspect of your life. But anytime that just comes to my mind, where I'm like, okay, I'm like, okay, remember that God kept you in this position for you to help people. So if they are not appreciative of your efforts, you've done your own for God, just move on. So
keep paying forward. Keep paying forward. Yeah, that's very good. So the process itself of getting a visa, was it really hard?
I would not say the process is hard. The thing is just pay your visa fee, your service fee. And for service fee, you can't pay service fee as a Nigerian. I don't know, maybe if you're in another country, you can pay, but as a Nigerian with your Nigerian card, you can't pay service fee. So you need to like communicate to somebody in the US to help you pay service fee. So you give them the equivalent, because I know a lot of people will be saying, let me pay service fee. When I tell them you pay the equivalent, they will not say, oh, they didn't know. I was like, hey, Mommy call you.
Wait. What did they want to pay before?
I don't know. Some of them will be expecting, because I'm not even the one, I don't do that service fee thing. Like because I don't want to mix business with my because Nigerians are very funny. So, but because some people, they're always scared of, oh, this is a lot of money. When I tell them, okay, this is the rate that the person is doing it, is collecting, they will be expecting the person to collect CBN rates. And I'm like, okay,
Google rates.
People are so funny. So I'm just like, well, whatever. If you want to talk to the person direct, because I'm not actually adding any money. If you want to talk to the person direct, talk to them. I'm just being a middle person, because I know you know online, and I'm not going to, because of how much, put my integrity on the line. So that's why most of it, I'm always being a middle person to this person. But sometimes if they're like, well, I'll be like, do you want to talk to the person directly? And if you talk to the person directly, just remove me out of the equation.
Exactly.
Because I'm a person again. So people are just so funny, but just know that you pay the equivalent, and it's black market rates most of the time. There's nothing like bank rates. If you want to do bank rates, go and pay at the bank, because it's just like the person is exchanging money as well. And if they're exchanging money, normally you will not sell it at bank rates. So that's the way it is. So you look for somebody that is trustworthy, because I've also heard of people scamming people. So just look for somebody that is trustworthy, that you can send the Naira equivalent to, and they help you pay the service fee. And from there, just start looking for dates. You can start looking for dates without paying service fee. That's something most people don't also know. If you don't really have money for service fee now, pay the visa fee. Start looking for dates. Before you shall go for your interview, make sure you pay the service fee. So
yeah. And do you get the passport like immediately? They ask you questions or?
Oh no. So for the passport, in fact, when you are going, just be praying that you don't get your passport.
Wow, okay.
Because I know somebody did like their interview immediately, but they got the passports that same day, because the person didn't do it in Nigeria actually. The person did it in a different country. And the person was like, oh, they needed to travel to another place. So they told the person to wait, and they gave them the passport immediately, because the person well, like, you're in Nigeria, you're applying don't even pray to get your passport back, because getting your passport back is just like, we are not giving you visa. But if they gave you visa, your passport should be with them, and they will let you know when you can pick up your passport. Usually it's within 3 to 5 working days. And sometimes, because there are some technical, because after the visa, if they approve you, I've heard of people that they said they approved them, and the day they told them to pick up their passport, they saw another thing on the passport. So even after approval, still be praying.
Be praying to God.
Exactly. Yeah. When you go and get the passport, there's a visa in there, because the person eventually, I think they said the person submitted like fake bank statement or whatever. So the banned person typically. So yeah, there are different stages to this thing. So.
Wow. Thank you so much, Ola, for dishing out like loads of valuable information. We really do appreciate. And so just like final words and final advice you'd like to give to anyone planning to come to the US, whether undergraduate or master's or PhD, like what do you think they should put in mind as they are coming, and that would also help them settle in properly when they get to the US?
Yeah, I think something that I would say is that majority of people, and it's so funny, like people will be saying, "Oh, it's not easy, it's not easy, it's not easy. Research is not easy and all." And I think right now, because as at the time I was applying, there were not a lot of resources, particularly for my non-STEM people. There were not a lot of resources for non-STEM. But right now, I know a lot of people that have like YouTube channel that are non-STEM. Like I know, aside from myself, I know like about 3 other people that are non-STEM. So now there are a lot of resources. But I think a lot of Nigerians are just looking for somebody that will sit down and spoon feed them.
Spoon feed, yeah.
And I'm like, if you want somebody to sit down and spoon feed you, then be willing to pay for that person's time. I'm not going to sit down and spoon feed you. Okay, this is what you should do. This is what you should do. This is what you should do. So something I would say is that know that if something is easy, everybody will be doing it. If it was easy to say, I want to study abroad, how many people do you think will remain in Nigeria? Nobody, because it's easy. Just know that it's not easy. I'm not going to say it is easy. It's not easy. It takes,
but it's possible.
But it's possible. So if you are willing to like dedicate your time to it, you will achieve the results. I think something else that I did not say is that during my own time, I didn't write any exam. I know when I tell people are like, you didn't write the exam. Yes, I did not write the exam because I had the requirements in my mind. And when I was looking for schools, I was looking for schools specifically that were not requiring me to write the exam. That's why my research took longer time. So if you have like specific requirements, you can stick to those requirements as well and be like, okay, I don't want to write the exam. I don't want to do this. Then when you are researching, just know that you need to add extra fire to your research, but there's nothing that there's no answer to. So that's something I'm just put in the hard work, put in the dedication. There's nothing that is impossible. My friend has said there's no funding for education. I got funding for education, and it's not just my course. There are a lot of courses in education that are fully funded, but you will not know until you research to find answers to it, if you get what I'm saying. So yeah, that's the way it is.
All right, thank you very much. And this is going to be like the end of the video for today. And I think I kind of had issues, so I'm just putting a disclaimer here with my internet connection. So in case you are experiencing like breakouts, you just have to like bear with us. So Ola, I'm so grateful, and you guys should also like drop your appreciation and gratitude in the comment section. And if there is the need to bring you on board, we'll bring you definitely later on in the future. Yeah, again. So thank you guys, and till we meet, stay comforted. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.